Hello, everybody. This is Vince with Listings to Leads, and we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. We're just waiting for people to log in. So can you see my screen? There should be a chat panel there somewhere where we can have a look at that. Let's just give it a minute as we're getting in there. Can you hear me and can you see my screen? We'll give it just a couple of minutes for people to log in. And let's go here. Okay, I see. It comes in comments here. Thanks, everybody. Let's just give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll get started. Well, while we're waiting, for those of you who are here, can you let me know how long have you been with us, and how did you find us? And if you want, let me know, because I know that the market's a little bit, it's always dynamic. But are you really right now looking for more buyers? Do you have listings that you need to sell, or do you need to look for more listings? If you want to put that in the comments there, I'll make sure and be addressing these things. It looks like, oh, okay. Welcome, Debbie. What brokerage are you with? We do have office accounts and team accounts, and Debbie here is telling us that she's from a brokerage and they're offering that. And there are a lot of offices like to have this available for their agents because it's going to help everybody be productive. And you're looking for listings and buyers. Okay, great. So let's kind of get this show on the road. Thanks everybody for joining me. I'm Vincent Meza, and this is Listings to Leads, and this is our Get Started class. There is a comments section there. If you want to ask questions, I'll kind of glance over and keep an eye if you have questions. You're with MVP. Actually, Scott's in Florida this week, and he's meeting, I'm not sure if he's meeting Derek, but he's going to meet Luis from MVP2. We just set him up on recruiting for your office. But Listings to Leads been here for about 16 years. We're designed to help agents advertise, help them market, help them with social media, and help them find more buyers and find more sellers, right? There's a lot of ways to do that. We do that through print. We do that with email tools. We do that with free social media posts, and we also do that with ads on Facebook and Google. And there's a lot going on in the market. I think it's a challenge today that are working in today's market for our clients. So I want to make sure that you understand that. Lola, okay. Oh, with IXL. Yeah. Oh. Who is that? I know. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we know it, IXL. You can on our website. Everything we do is month to month. If you're part of an office, well, that's always kind of discounted, cost to access it. So as I said, there are a lot of tools. And the first thing I want to talk about before we get into like some of the nuts and bolts, also talk about the setup, right? And this is really important if you're a new client. Even if you've been a long-term client, we keep adding new tools, and you want to make sure that the automation is turned on to just match this link, and I'm going to see if I can send this to everybody right now. Yes, no. Oh, you got to do it that way. So this is going out. It should be with everybody. We're doing training every day of the week. So definitely there are different things you can learn about. And I want to point this out. Scott is doing a class on open house marketing. And this is key for those of you who are looking for business right now. Let me just give you the short and sweet story right now. Our clients who are running 2 to 3 ads, like $50 ads every week, and hosting 2 or more open houses every weekend, they are busy. They are busy with leads and they are busy getting transactions. That's the short story. We're gonna go look at stuff, and there's a lot of tools in here. But that's what's working over and over. We've had probably 4 different teams on the calls in the past month saying that that's exactly what they're doing. They're running ads, and they're, even if they're borrowing open houses, they're getting, our open house marketing system is designed to find sellers as well as buyers. So definitely kind of check that out. Let's see here. Okay. That's funny. It goes out 3 times that way. We also have a mastermind group, and I want to bring this, this is, there's a link inside your account. It's where Scott and I talk about what's going on. It's also where our clients talk about what's going on. And I want to just point this out because we'll be talking about Facebook ads, and we can learn a lot. One of our clients just a few days ago put this here, and she's just saying, hey, I've run an ad and I'm getting 40 leads at $1.90 each. Now, I'm not sure where she is, and that's actually a low cost per lead. The average in the US is $3 a lead for buyer leads. And so she really got a great deal there, and that's awesome. So I just want to show you, like, our clients are running ads today, and you want to be thinking, if you're looking for buyers, for, around $3 is the average. Another great resource is this page. And I want to point something out. I'm going to send this to everybody right now. This is where, so every class we do, including this one, is recorded and it's sitting on this page. And definitely you want to be looking at this. I think if you're new to us, you want to understand what's going to help you, right? What's going to help your business. And there's a lot of videos here. And I want to point out this one right here. Do you see this? It says Facebook cheat sheet. This is really important. It's a 6-minute video. We have thousands of ads run through our platform every month. And so we can analyze this and we can see what are the top performing ads. And Scott is showing you in 6 minutes how to make your ad look like a top performing ad. Okay. So it's called Facebook Ads Cheat Sheet. Definitely check that out. Also, there's Top Tools for More Listings. I do a class called Top Tools for More Listings. Scott's doing a lot of classes here. If you feel like you want more listings, you absolutely got to watch that. There's also here on the live tab, you can see all of the live classes that we're going to have. So you can register, or, you can kind of watch it here live on YouTube. So let's get into the system. Remember that I said that, you've got tools for print, you got tools for social media, you can run ads. Well, all that happens if you set up your account, right? And so I want to show you what happens if you're a brand new client, and well, what's the process to get set up? Because I know that that's kind of like onboarding kind of scare people. And I've been on a lot of, for some agents, this is really easy. And for other agents, it's a little bit slower. So if there are any questions on what I'm showing you here, let me know. First of all, if there's no red asterisk, it's not required. So you don't need to have your license number. You don't need to have your state there. But if it is required by your MLS, then definitely you put it there. You're going to add your logo. We have the color branding schemes for a lot of the top franchises in the country. And again, you can fill these out if you need them. The really important part is coming here, and this has to do with social media. So we will auto post your listings to your accounts for you. And we'll also, in this section, auto post a few landing pages, like what is your home worth, the new construction, and first time home buyer landing pages. So you want to click through here and connect your socials, right? Connect to Instagram, connect to LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business. And if you connect to YouTube, when we get your listings, we will auto-generate a Pan and Zoom virtual tour, and we'll put it on YouTube for you. So you want to, if you have your own channel, connect that there. I do want to tell you, when it comes to Facebook, this kind of throws agents off, because when you click it, it's going to say, is this you with your name? It's going to take you to Facebook and says, continue as you with your personal name. You need to click yes. And the second page will be, okay, what business page? And that's where you choose your business pages. Now, I'm going to click here. The next one, it's where you connect your Facebook ad account. So when you're running ads with our platform, it's going to be sponsored by your business page. This is awesome for your branding, right? But it's also going to charge your credit card. And whether your ad budget is $35 or $50 or $100, 100% of that budget is going to Facebook. We're not taking a percentage of that. But we definitely want you to be running ads. We could just see the results, and it's helping a lot of clients everywhere. The next page, we ask you to connect again, and this also kind of gets agents a little bit concerned, because I just connected, but we're doing 3 different functions here, and this one is very important because our content, it's colorful, it's really beautiful photography, it's really simple messages, and it's great for social media. So our clients' Instagram accounts are growing in just a matter of months. Also, Google My Business, if you use Google My Business, this is a constant refresh of content. And Google is scoring that and giving it a high SEO. So your Google My Business can end up on page 1 of local searches, right? Of local real estate searches. There's a lot of topics. If you want to click the eyeball, you can see all the articles we've run, or you can just click it to highlight it, and that means we're going to turn it on, right? And there's a lot of different topics, all kinds of things. So choose the ones that really fit your personality. I do want to point out that we always want to see you auto posting our PDF guides. I'll show you later on what those PDF guides look like, but there are 80 PDF guides for each of you. They have your branding and your logo, which we did on the previous pages. And they're all about 5 or 6 pages long. They're high level, but they're a good way to get this conversation started. And I think next you're going to connect your, how do we sweep your listing? So we're going to want to see the email from that's in your MLS. It may be different from the email as your day-to-day, what you're using at your office. So make sure that one is definitely what's inside your MLS. Now, you can also grab listings. We'll do that later. If you're going to borrow a listing, you can just drop in the zip code and MLS ID, and we'll pull it in. But we'll skip this for now. And here we have to choose your CRM. So when we're capturing leads, we've got APIs from a lot of the top CRMs. You can just auto have those leads drop into your system. If you don't have a CRM, I highly recommend that you're using our follow-up. These are our drip campaigns, and they have a high open rate. They also have a really good closing story. We actually embed our landing pages, and we embed our PDF guides in those messages throughout the campaign. So people are actually getting value instead of just reading kind of boilerplate drip campaigns from a lot of CRMs. So definitely, if you feel like your CRM, even though if you're using it, it's not really doing much, you might want to just turn on our follow-ups. Our clients, I've been on calls where people realize that we've already closed the appointment for them. Now here we're adding our reviews, right? Your reviews. So if you have reviews on Zillow, you can connect them. If you have them on Google, you can connect them and testimonial tree. And later on, you'll be able to kind of pull things in from Yelp and Facebook and things like that. So that's it. That's kind of the setup, right? There's one thing that I always like to make sure that everybody is doing, and that's going over to the landing page section and making sure that the key landing page, which is called Free Home Values, which is integrated with so many of your tools, that it looks like your area, right? And so let me tell you what I'm talking about. So over here we have landing pages, right? This is kind of the work area is on these pages over here. And you will notice in your single property websites, you'll notice in your nearby homeowner letters, in your virtual tours, that this page right here is popping up, right? With that kind of suburban tree-lined street there. If that does not look like your market, click the pencil, which always means edit here, and put in a photograph that looks like your area, okay? And that's kind of, for me, that's like you're set up your account now, right? At that point, we can run ads. We've got content going out to your socials automatically. Your PDF guides should be getting swept in, right? So that's kind of, you're set, you're good to go. So let's go over, and by the way, I did give you links while we're on the call here, but I want to kind of just point this out. On the top here, it says marketing calendar. And there's a really good calendar, gives you a task to do every day of the week. So, if you want to be doing that, we give you the instructions, we point you to where you can do the work. But also here, a really important tab is our resources. And so if you're watching this in a recording, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel here. You can follow us on Instagram here, and you can join us on our mastermind group over here. And our live classes are all listed right here. I kind of sent you, as those of us that are on the call, I sent those to you earlier, but you can get to them right here in the marketing calendar. So at this point, your account's all set, right? Oh, let's see. Debbie has a question. I've been getting messages that something was auto-posted, but I can't find where it was posted. Debbie, when you get that message, usually there's an icon. So let's say you connected Facebook, right, for auto posting, and we say, oh, we've auto posted. There's usually an icon of the socials that we're posting to, each one. So if you have Instagram, there'll be a Facebook and Instagram and things like that. You can click on that icon and that will take you straight to the post. So check your email, Debbie. That's kind of what that is. And you'll see where they're posted. So after you're all set up, every time you log in, you are dropped on the dashboard. And it's really, you can decide, what do I need? Do I need buyers or do I need sellers? Now, if you need buyers, click on buyers. And there will be a lot of tools here that are designed to get you buyers, right? And the same is true for sellers, but I'm going to kind of concentrate on this because I have been talking to a lot of agents and they have listings building up and they need to get them sold. So we need to kind of address that real quickly here. And you can see that you can create ads, there's short form video scripts, there's an email. You'll also have other tools here, but let's concentrate on the thing that really gets things going pretty quickly. And that is creating a listing ad. So when you're on this page for buyer lead, you might have an open house, you might have a home that's for sale, and you can choose any of them. Want to make sure you're using our lead ads. This means that when somebody clicks on the ad, they click yes, I want that information, and their name, phone number, and email is sitting there pre-populated from their profile, okay? And this is really important because if you're capturing leads and you want name, email, and phone number, there is nothing that's getting as many name, email, and phone numbers as a Facebook ad. There's a lot of forms, there are a lot of landing pages, PDF guides, all kinds of ways to capture leads. But you probably know that nobody wants to be typing in their email and phone number anywhere. There's just so many scams out there. So that's like a problem. But here, I'm going to just click this button to show you what we're doing. We have what's called Facebook lead form. So when somebody sees the ad and they click on it, they'll be asked what's your time frame to buy or what's your time frame to sell. And then this form pops up. And I don't know if you can see it, but it says full name, email, and phone number. In this view, it's blank. When a consumer clicks on the ad, it's pre-populated from their profile. So nobody is typing in their name, email, and phone number. And that's why our clients are saying they got like a 75 to 80% accuracy in those leads because nobody's typing anything in. And if they want the information, they're looking at their contact information. They're saying, yes, submit my info. I want that info. So those are really good leads. You want to, you're not going to convert 100% of leads. Online leads convert in our client base from 1 to 5%. Okay. And you definitely got to reach out to them. You should be texting them. You should be calling them. We have our own AI text software under the leads tab, which will automatically start texting your leads. It's really intelligent, and it's converting 10% of our leads to phone calls. So if you're going to be focused on generating ads, running ads, and generating a volume of leads every month, you might want to check out the AI to help do the work for you. So I clicked on the advanced options just because I wanted to show you the form, but you actually don't need to do much. You do need to make sure you got the right photos. And I mentioned earlier on our YouTube channel on the videos page that there's a 6-minute video. And let me explain to you why that is so important. Often when you are taking images, you have a photographer or you're doing it, you're taking images of a home, they'll take 4 or 5 photos of the front of the house, right? Because as they're walking through the house, or you start with the front images. So when it comes in from the MLS and the photos come in, this image here will have maybe 4 or 5 pictures of the front of the house, and that's not really going to help you. You really want to have something that has, the kitchen, things like that, and you can change that by clicking Change Template. Okay, and here is a pencil, which again means edit, and you can say, you know what, I want to change this photo to like a picture of something else, right? I don't like that one. And so this will actually point to all of the images that came in from the MLS. And let's just see here. I've got a kitchen here. I'm going to insert it. And you can see that it just pops out one and puts in another, right? And you apply and you save it, and that will be part of your ad. That's the short story of the 6-minute video. Make sure that your ads are really looking good. Definitely, I would recommend, if you're running ads with us, that you watch that every time when you're doing your first few ads, so that you really get the hang of making that happen. If you want to edit this text up here, just click in the box, and you could say, well, this is an open house. So you could say open on this Saturday, right? Don't put the time here. Because we want people to click the ad and give you their contact information, right? And I got distracted by a question. I don't want to see people putting the time in. I also don't want them putting the address in, because people can just sort of copy that and go over to Zillow and kind of go do their own research. Here, we're going to capture a lead. Now, Anne has a question. She says, for some reason, my listings don't auto-populate to my account. And let me just share that with you. I mentioned it earlier, but on the profile, there is a section that says MLS email. And Dan, you can email me. I'm Vince at Listings Leads. I can look at this, or the support team can look at this. But that email, when you signed up, I don't know what your email address was, right? But it's going to be right here. But when you have the MLS feed detail, that has to be the MLS email. That's the email that's actually inside. And that's what we're looking for. And if that's not there, or if that's not the right email, that's going to be the problem. And that's why we're not seeing your listings flowing there. That's the short answer. There's a longer answer if it doesn't work like that, but reach out to me and we'll check that out together. So let's go back to the dashboard, right? So now you know how to run a Facebook ad, right? And if you're looking for buyers, that's the number one thing you've got to be doing. Okay. And normally the default budget is $30. We definitely recommend seeing like a minimum of $50 budget. And depending on where you are, buyer leads cost about $3 each. And you would expect to see, divide 50 by 3, and you're going to, get something like 13 leads or something like that. But let's click on generate seller leads, because there's a lot here that's really important as well. And on the seller lead side, definitely you can run ads on sold properties. That's a really easy and efficient way of getting contact information. So when we click on seller leads, if we want to do a Facebook ad, we can create a listing ad on a property that's sold. So everything that's later stage, under contract, pending, or sold, it's going to generate a different kind of text. So let's click lead ads. Let's just click create ad. So you're not writing your own ads, right? You're not even clicking the buttons in Facebook. We click them all automatically. And that's what makes our software so useful. So right here, it's a $50 ad. And when you're doing buyer ads, the minimum budget is $35. But you should know seller lead from an ad like this typically costs $7 each. So if you divide 7 into 50, you would expect 7 leads. There is something that can make this ad work a little bit better. I was just talking to an agent last week, and he was saying, we were talking about his sold property, and he wanted to run an ad. And I asked him, I said, well, did you get multiple offers? And he said, yeah, I got I think 6 offers, right? And he said, and I sold it, I think he said 40K above asking, right? That's good information to put in an ad like this, because if I'm a homeowner and you're telling me, and he got it done weeks, well, you're telling me I can do it fast and that you're getting top dollar, and that can make these ads work a little bit better. Okay. You want to make sure you got good pictures, $50, boom, just like that. Very fast way of getting name, email, and phone number of people who are interested in their home value. Okay. So they'll give you their contact information by clicking a button, and then we'll drop them on a link that they can go drop their address and get their instant home value right there. So you'll have a lot of contact information. You'll know the address that they're talking about. That's an easy way of getting seller leads, right? We also, I mentioned, we have landing pages, right? And we talked about, that we create a bunch of landing pages automatically. So if you want to generate seller leads from landing pages, you can do that. And also there are 40 PDF guides, right? And so when we talk about PDF guides, there are 40 for buyers, there are 40 for sellers. So it's really easy to get these out. Now, if you go to the PDF guide section, you'll find that there are different ways of marketing these, right? But here we're just in the ad section. So we're going to click create ad, and we want a lead ad, and we just create the ad. So again, it's very simple. And, if you don't have listings in your account, here is something that you can use to get it out into the market. In this case, you do have to type in, the town that you want this to show in, right? And you just do it like that and click create ad, and it's all set, right? So there's just a lot of tools to get out there. Now, when we go over here to the PDF guide, I want to kind of point out, remember when we did the auto, when we went through the setup wizard and we connected your social media accounts for social content, we're actually going to post all of your landing pages throughout the year to your social media accounts, and we leave behind it so people can actually download it for free if they just give you their contact information, right? So yes, you can share them by hand, whenever you want, or on the wizard, tell us to do it automatically. You can also come here and run a Facebook ad. You can run an ad on Google. And also, let's talk about eFlyer for your database. And so some of you have been in the industry for a while, and you might have hundreds and even thousands. I was just talking to a lady before this call who has over 2,000 leads in Lofty, right? So if you've got thousands of leads, you definitely want to be looking at our eFlyer for your database. There's one under every landing page. There's one under every PDF guide. There's also eFlyer for your database every time you have a listing that's just listed, open house, or sold, or any status. You click up here for copy, and you copy with a signature. And that means that if they click on that link or that photo or this thing or this link, they're going to land somewhere where they're going to become a lead, right? Where they have to give you their information. So you want to copy this at least once a week and drop it on your database, right? And that's just kind of an important thing to not overlook, because if you have hundreds or thousands of leads in your CRM and they are not calling you, you need to get something that's going to activate those people. And that's what our eFlyers do. Now, we do have print tools. So if you're holding an open house, this actually gets into our open house marketing. And I'll show you, we'll get into this in just a minute. And remember, I mentioned that what's keeping our clients busy with business, not just, busy work, is running a couple of ads every early stage properties and hosting at least 2 open houses every weekend. We have people running even, let me see if I can move this, even 4 open houses, which you can imagine is going to be a busy weekend. But the work to start meeting more people and talking to more people that are thinking about buying and selling their home, that's what's happening when you're running ads and hosting open houses. Now, I mentioned that Scott is doing a class today. And if you go over to our live section, you can sign up for it. And it'll be at 5 p.m. today. And there are recorded ones as well. But let me tell you, we've got a lot of people using our open house kind of strategy and all the tools that are there. And I'll point you to a few. You definitely want to do that. But let's go over here. And I want to point this out as well. So let me ask a question. Does everybody here have a website? Because we actually create websites for you, and we create a client review website. And for our clients that don't have websites, you can actually, we have one created for you. It has all of your listings. And if you can even snap in an IDX plugin from your MLS, and then people can have a property search on your page. This is one of the pages that are like it. And so on this, it's a client review page. So we can auto sweep your listings in from Zillow and Google, and you can add them manually from Facebook and Yelp if you want. But you add your reviews here, and then we auto populate your reviews in a number of our tools, like the virtual tours and the single property websites and like home valuation landing pages where that is relevant, right? But we also make a dedicated client review website. And all of your reviews are here. All of there's a marketing plan, and people can download information as long as they give you their information, right? Do you own a home? Yes. Answer a couple questions. Boom, download the report. So this even has your listing. So this is something that our clients are starting to use. If they don't have their own website, this is automatically part of the system. Can your site do the stay in touch email to our database that we can customize, or do we have to use our own CRM for that? That's a good question, Tracy. We talked about it a little bit ago, but we have our own follow-ups right here, okay? And if you click on follow-ups here, and you can turn them on automatically. In the setup wizard, we give you a place to either use your CRM or to use our follow-ups. You can turn it on there, or you can turn it on here as well. Definitely turn on the buyer and sellers. If you want to go in, you can click here on the link. You can see all what we're delivering. You can edit it. You can add your own. You might have a different value proposition that you want to make sure that you are mentioning in your drip campaigns. And so there's a separate buyer drip campaign, and there's a separate seller campaign. So you can edit these here. And this will only work on the leads that you capture with us. You will not be able to upload your own leads and have this system work those leads, okay? So just be aware. But a lot of our clients will actually take their leads, connect their CRM, and have them go to their CRM and still use our drip campaigns because they're effective. They actually are helping close business. So we talked about listing marketing. We talked about ad software. We talked about PDF guides, social content, and landing pages. I want to kind of bring everything back to the story that we were telling you about open house marketing, right? And I mentioned that there are tools that agents are using. And the first thing they're doing is they're running ads, okay? They're running ads on Facebook, and try to start running those ads by Tuesday or Wednesday. It's just unfortunate when agents call us and they are like struggling to run an ad on Friday night for a Saturday open house. You're not likely going to get terrific results. Just give yourself a few days to let the software, to let Facebook approve it and let it get in front of the market. And it's very easy to do. We've just been doing that. But if we click on market listing, there are other tools that you don't want to ignore. And we're going to auto post the open house to your socials. There will be a landing page that can capture leads, but you may not have a big network, so that's not going to capture a lot of leads. One tool that I want you to make sure that you're using, whether it's an open house or not an open house, this tool is called the Nearby Homeowner Letter, and it's our number one tool for capturing high quality listing leads. And when it regards to open house marketing, it's real simple. You just download it, you print out 50 or 100 copies, and you door knock the neighborhoods, right? Because you're telling them, hey, we've got an open house this week. And the people who are going to be interested in that, probably going to be homeowners who might be thinking about their home. And it says, hey, open house, scan here, go find out about it. And that's going to affect your home value. Go here to get your free home value. Okay. So we've actually had a client who didn't have her own listing. She was just sitting on another agent's open house, pulled the listing into her account, printed this, door knocked 50 homes, got her own listing from this piece of paper. Okay. So it's not electronic. It's not AI. It's not even social media. It's a piece of paper. Do not ignore that, because if you want more listings, we have clients that mail this out just listed 100 pieces. And when the home is sold, another 100 pieces out to their market. I'm going to show you a really good example. It's in the mastermind group. So I was showing you this. I'm just going to repeat it because we talked a little bit about ads here. These are ads being run by one of our agents. And you see here that this one, it ended just, yesterday. She has 40 leads at $1.90. CPL means cost per lead. And notice this as well. You see that it says 3,500 eyeballs here and 5,020 over here. What that means is 3,500 people saw this ad. Okay. But the 5,000 number means that they saw it on a phone and on their desktop. They saw it in multiple areas. That's really why this is so powerful, the Facebook ad software. You can capture a lot of leads. I don't know where she was. $1.90. It's weird. I think we're seeing the I don't know if it's the average, but we're seeing a lot of leads in the dollar and change range. Okay. Normally, I've been mentioning the average cost of a buyer lead is $3, but it's every week I'm seeing leads come in at like $1.09, and in that case, that was $1 and change. So you want to test it out, and I'll show you one more thing to think about. This is the Nearby Homeowner Letter. Pat Motley's been a client of ours, I think 14 or 15 years. She's been in the mastermind group talking about the Nearby Homeowner Letter for years. But now she's even blown us away. This is a couple years old, but this is what she is doing. She's printing out 100. She flips it over after she prints out the 100 and uses Microsoft Publisher to print on the back. And she handwrites these and puts a little tape to close it. So you can tell just by looking at this, I don't know if you can see it, that there's writing on there, and it's one single piece of paper. The key for her is to get people to open this. And I'm going to show you a very simple way to get this out. But in this example, the first 100 that she sent out for just listed, she had 4 homeowners calling her, right, for their home value. On this batch, which is sold, if you look at her comments, she has another 4 people reaching out. So 8 people wanted to sell their home with her by marketing just one home with 200 pieces of mail. This is our Nearby Homeowner Letter. We auto-generate it. Please try to take advantage of it. She was even kind enough to share the little script that you need with Microsoft Publisher to make that letter, make that look like a letter, envelope. So inside the mastermind group, check out Pat Motley. She shared that. That's a really great way of using the system. But I want to show you that there's a simpler way. We actually have a company called Express Copy who will do all this work for you. Everything that Pat just showed you in the mastermind group. Here, you can say Connect Express Copy, and then we'll give you a button that says print and mail. And Scott and I were really excited when we launched this integration. It's not a financial, we're not getting a kickback here, but we're making our number one tool for high quality listings leads very easy. You click on Get Mailing List. You decide how many mile radius do you want to go from your current home, and they will download it, and they will only send it to homeowners with more than 6 years equity. Okay. They fold it, they put it, it's going from your address to their address. It looks a little more like bulk mail. right? But it's easier. They're charging $1.85 per piece of mail. I think, Pat's, it's a little lower cost for doing the mailing, but she's putting more time into it and most likely getting higher results. Pat's been in the mastermind group for years talking about how she uses that letter. And there are a lot of agents that use that. You hopefully are using that if you want more listings. I do want to point out, because that's a long story about which is actually tied to open house marketing. We create an open house sign-in form. Okay, it's simple. If you have a laptop or you have an iPad, you can have this open and just ask people for their feedback, right? And you will see that people will fill this out. They'll give you their email, and we will send them a mobile optimized website just automatically. So it's a good way of capturing leads. I've even seen realtors take the QR code, put it on a piece of paper, and say, the homeowner would love it if you'd scan in and register before you come in the house. And that's a good way of capturing leads as well. But there's a couple of other things that people are doing. And I'm going to point out that in our YouTube channel, we have really strong recordings about open house marketing. And if you want that, I can email it to you, but you got to email me at Vince@Listings2Leads and just ask for the open house stuff. But in the media library, we have something, and I want to share this with you because our clients are just starting to get their arms around this. We have created a video. It's a 5-minute video, which is our listing presentation. And so the reason that open house marketing is becoming so important to our clients is it's really showcasing what they're bringing to the table, right? And that is marketing skill and marketing tools. And so we create all of these videos, all this content's already sitting in your account, and you can use it for, social media and things like that. But this one is a video. And our clients are taking this, they're downloading it into their own YouTube, or they go find ours in their on the TV. So they're going to the homeowner, and if they have a smart TV, they point it over to this video on YouTube, and they just let it run on the TV. Now you're doing other things. You're talking to people as they're coming through. I showed you the PDF guide flyers that people can scan with their own smartphone. All of this marketing inside a home is really, conveying what you are doing to sell a home. And honestly, it's a lot more than what many agents do. I actually had a client who won a listing from a Sotheby's agent. And he said the person took it from the agent because they weren't doing anything to get the home sold. And I don't know what that agent was doing, but I said, hey, why don't you take our listing presentation and present this to them? This is a video version of our listing presentation. This is not what he was presenting, but this is what our clients are presenting inside of their open houses. So it's a little bit different from traditional open house marketing. We'll go look at the listing presentation in a bit, but by running ads using these, and I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to show you again. We have PDF guides, and we have a flyer. And so a lot of our clients are printing, 4 or 5 or 6 of these of different topics. Some are for buyers and some are for sellers. They're branded to you, your colors, your logo, and people can scan these and get free information just by giving you their contact information, right? Whatever topics you want in the open house. And that's great because what agents are doing is they're putting they're getting the little acrylic tabletop stands, and they're putting this in there, and they're putting one in the laundry room, one in the office, maybe one in the bedroom. And you might be talking to people in the kitchen, and people can get information from you that's branded to you as long as they give you their contact information. So we're really taking real estate marketing and bringing all the tools inside of the open house to really impress people and say, hey, this is what's going on. So again, running ads on Facebook is getting you leads with name, email, and phone number. And then using our tools at open houses is really going to start a lot of conversations for you. So when we talk about getting listings, I do want to remind you that I do a class every 2 weeks called Top Tools for More Listings. And well, this is the live page. I'm not sure where it is. Might be on this page. But definitely watch that if you want more listings. Here's one here a month ago, right next to the Facebook 6-minute ad that you absolutely need to watch. I want to go to live because I want to look at these thumbnails, because there's a call that I think everybody should see. These are upcoming, so let's go look here. There's one on open house marketing with Brian Mathewson, and Brian is an office client of ours. He's been a client for years. He's also been in real estate for over 20 years. And so he thinks of open house marketing very strategically, and it's a great call. If you'd like it, let me know. I don't know if I can find, I don't want to waste a ton of time here. But what's awesome is he knows our tools very well. And he says, yes, I use some of your tools this way, and I use other tools this way. It's all, for him, it's all about how can I get more listings and more buyers from our open house market. And so he's obviously leveraging our tools to do that, but he's got some really smart things to say about that. So I couldn't find it right there. If you'd like to see it, you can email me, Vincent Listings to Leads, and I actually have an email ready to go. So all these things about getting listings, I want to talk about our listing presentation, okay? Because if you find yourself talking to people, you want to know that you have this available. It's very impressive. It's auto-generated for each of you. It's branded for each of you. And we create a print version of it that you should print and leave behind when you go to your listing presentation. But we also have an electronic one, okay? So when we go to the listings page, you will see that there is a listing presentation tab. And I'm not going to take us there because that's kind of a generic one with all kinds of nice pictures of homes. But you can actually create a listing presentation by creating a listing with the status of listing presentation. And that tells our system to create a listing presentation based on the photos of their home. So if you're going to go meet somebody, definitely take the time to create a listing. You don't need to have a whole lot of data here because it's not an actual listing. Get a photograph of the home. I've seen clients go get photos from Zillow or other websites, and then download this listing presentation before you get there, right? Bring your own laptop or bring your iPad. And this is going to show them electronically what you're doing to sell their home. And I just had a gentleman, well, I mentioned, he won 2 listings, and they're big, pricey listings. And he said, yeah, this other agent wasn't really doing anything. And I just pulled it. I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. And let me show you what closed the deal for him. Okay. And it's funny because people will respond to different things. The picture that you see here, this is of the person's home. So it's got their address. It's got the person's home. And now you can start going through it. And it says, this is what we do to advertise your home. Now, it doesn't mention listings to leads. It just says, this is what I do. This is how I sell a home, right? YouTube marketing, print tools, nearby homeowner letters, right? Email marketing. I have email ways to, and I've been kind of talking about this with you. So you kind of want to print this and have this ready, but this is really where where he closed the deal. He's like, yeah. He said, why don't you take your smartphone and scan that QR code right now while we're talking here at the table? And he did, and it pulled up this mobile optimized website. And this man, that was it. He was like, I want that, because he knew the power of what a QR code can do. And I don't even think he went through the rest of the presentation. You should go through the rest of the presentation. It talks about all the marketing you're going to do, right? But being able to say that, hey, I use the internet, I get your home on all the major social media, and I'm mobile optimized, really, like, that sets you apart from the bulk of realtors. And if you haven't figured it out here, everything we're doing is capturing buyer leads. And that's really what the homeowner wants to know. Are you going to find people who want to buy my home? And that's what it is. And that's exactly what we do. This right here stopped the conversation. The agent called me. He's like, hey, how do I get that sign writer? He wants this like now. And that was it. We got the sign writer. He took it over and he got a listing contract. Definitely use our listing presentation A lot of people have told us it's unbeatable. You have a generic one on your listings page, all like that, just get familiar with it, what is, but you can also go here to add listing and manually add a listing as a listing presentation. I also wanted to bring you to this page for another reason, and that is if you don't have your own listings, it won't, if you don't have your own listings, you can actually grab one. So here we're adding a listing manually. We're going to change it to listing presentation. And this is going to help. That's what's going to have us create the listing presentation that I was showing you. I also wanted to show you this, and I see a question coming in, but we'll address that in just a minute. So if you don't have listings and you want to borrow a listing, you can click add a listing and then grab a listing. And this way you drop in the zip code and the MLS ID, and that's going to help us pull it in. And somebody was saying, and that hers are not auto-populating, and you should email me or support and we'll look at that. But maybe you're borrowing a listing, right? Maybe you're going to do an open house for somebody and you're going to, pull it in so you can start advertising early in the week. This is how you would get that in here. And then Debbie had a question, which is a good one. And I think it's a really important one. So if we go to market listings and we go to the area where there are sign writers, and that's what that was based on. Sign writers are here. We actually have service over here called Text IVR, and Text IVR it's an add-on. It's like $10 or $15 a month, and you get various codes, right? And let's click on sign writers one more time. And so if you send this code to that code, you text this code to that code, you will get the address of the home they're looking at and their phone number immediately. When you're using a QR code does not have built-in data, okay? So you see you got two options here. Text this number to that one, and that means they're going to get an instant single property website. You are going to get an instant address and their phone number. If you use a QR code, what that does is that if somebody scans it, it takes the phone to the website for that property. And that we auto design for you, right? And so it doesn't capture a lead there, but hopefully the single property website or the landing page captures the lead. Nothing is going to get a number as sure as that text code. Okay, so you can use it with or without QR codes, but now you know the answer, Debbie. You will see, I think we do see, we do track how many scans you get, but it's not capturing the data, the contact information. That's always kind of important to me. Now, on Craigslist, I'm just going to mention it. There's actually leads coming from Craigslist. And they changed their website a long time ago. It's a lot harder to get scams and stuff like that than it used to be, and that's why they changed their website. But I just want to point out that that's there. And one more thing, I was mentioning this to an agent earlier, because if you are having, if you're having a buildup of inventory and interest rates are high, so in some markets, sales are slow. The first thing we got to tell you is please run ads on Facebook. But another free way to get things out is to grab our virtual tour and share it. Just copy the web address and go share it on Facebook and put in there in all caps. But the words virtual tour all caps kind of makes sense, right? Now it's taking a while to pull that up, but there's a lot of lead capture on this. And it's really showcasing the home just right off the bat, right? So definitely, you can share free tools to social media as well as running ads, right? The thing is, and I'm going to kind of point this out, and I want to share this with you. If you have a business page and you might have 200 people follow it, you might have 500, you might have 2,000 people follow it. Our business page, we have 13,000. And whatever we post, only 5% of our followers are seeing anything we put there. And that's true for you as well. So if you have a business page, and I know a lot of clients sign up, they don't even have a business page. I've helped people build a business page. It takes a couple minutes. Facebook is not going to, if 1,000 people follow you and you put something, 1,000 people will see what you put there. They're a public business. They want your money. They want you to boost things, and they want you to pay for ads, right? That's Facebook's business model. So the positive thing, name me one phone number, and that's the power of our ad software. It is designed to do that. So that's kind of all I want to show you today. I want to make sure that you know where our YouTube channel is, that you can sign up for other classes. But do you have questions right now? Is there anything that I haven't mentioned that you'd like to hear about? I will point out, I know a lot of you are talking to groups of agents. Some of you are doing coaching calls. We do have an affiliate link. If you want to use that, you get a 15% commission on anybody that signs up on that. All you need is a PayPal link there. All of your leads are here, and you can actually save notes on your leads on the leads tab. And we talked about client reviews. Yeah, we kind of talked about everything. I do want to mention that I do have a class on top tools for more listings in Facebook and Google. And I definitely go in more details and some of the tricks, but I want to point out, and I know I'm being repetitive, is there a support email? There sure is. There's a support page, and anything that you put on that page, it's down here on the left, everything will go to support, right there. But I think there's a dedicated email, which is support@listingstoleads.com. Okay. So either way, you can email in there. I think it's always better if you go through here, because then we can see your account and we can tell, what account you're talking about. Always useful. What else did we want to, I was talking about follow-ups. I think that's everything. Spend some time on the YouTube channel. If you want to find out more about our open house marketing, definitely shoot me an email and I'll send you a couple things there. What's, a lot of agents, and I've seen it over the years, say house is not worth the time. If you're using our marketing system, it's definitely worth your time. If you're running ads and you're using all the kind of marketing system, platform that we have for open houses, it's going to make you look like a very serious marketing agent. And that's really critical in a tough market. So definitely use all the tools that are there. Join us on our open house marketing call. I know there'll be one today. And learn how to do that. And then, of course, running the ads, right? You've seen some high quality, the print gets high quality listing leads. Facebook gets good listing leads, not as high quality as when you're mailing a letter to people with equity, right? You're literally targeting people with equity, and that makes the nearby homeowner letter so functional. So I don't see any other questions. You're welcome, Debbie. Thanks, everybody. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Yeah, we answered that question. If there aren't any more questions, thank you for joining me. This call is being recorded. It will be up in our groups and on our YouTube channel either later today or tomorrow. So I don't see any other questions. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great week.